Hi, I'm Lucy. I'm the founder and motivational speaker for the program I Can and I Am. And we're here this week to talk about living a life that you love. Now, how easy does that sound? Like you see it on social media posts all the time, you get the biggest quotes, just live life, do it now, today's your moment, the biggest regret you're ever going to have is not doing something. That's all well and good being on a motivational quote, but how does that actually work in reality? Well, today we're going to talk about how you can take some steps to turning your life from how it is now into something that you love even more. So, if you're following along as part of the I Can and I Am course, you will have the workbook this week, which is going to help you take you through areas of your life and to look at different aspects of your life in a different way to perhaps how you've looked at them before. Now, you might be thinking, oh my gosh, this is so overwhelming. Everybody wants to create a life that they love, but it's just where on earth do you actually start? And the way you're going to have to start is with your why. So why do you want to change? Why do you want to do something? What is your passion? What is it that makes you come alive? So it might be that you do a job that you enjoy, so you don't want to change that area of your life. You go on holidays that you like, you go to the gym and you enjoy doing that, but does it really light you up? Is that something that you love, that it's something that really sets your soul on fire? Like, what is it? What is it that you love more than anything else? When you can find out that, then that's your destiny. And I bet you're thinking, yeah, okay, great, that's really helpful when I can find it. But how on earth do you find it? Now, there's a long way to go and a short way to go, and there's no right and wrong way of doing that. Now, lots of people will find their why by just jumping straight in and trying something. And personally, that's what I did. I just knew I had to change. I remember going on a dog walk. I used to live in southeast London, just outside of the main London, an area called Blackheath near Greenwich. And I was walking my dog one morning, and I just thought to myself, my life is so boring. So I actually what I thought was, I would love to write a book about my life. I was sort of daydreaming in the morning, and I just thought, oh my god, I would write this amazing book and it would be so interesting, and I would write, and then I was just like, what would I write? I had nothing. My life was so boring. If I wrote a book, I wouldn't even want to read it. And that's when I realised, oh my god, all I do is go to work and have a great weekend, but it's not really it. That's not what I want my life to be about. I don't want my life to just be, oh, she's a really great daughter or sister or girlfriend, wife. I don't want that to be my life. I want it to be more than that. I want to make a difference, and this is part of the reason why it led me to this kind of work. But yeah, and I just remember thinking, God, my life is just boring. No one would ever want to. And it's not that, and I want someone else to read about it. That's not what I'm saying here at all. What I'm saying is, I realised it was boring and I wanted to make a change. And I'd say at least within a month, if not sooner than that, I had booked to go and climb Kilimanjaro, which is the tallest freestanding mountain in the world. I had no climbing experience, I had no real long hiking experience. I was relatively fit at that stage, and that's what was great. So it was something that I'd been getting fit and healthy and really training hard, but I didn't really know why. I was following a health and fitness program, but I had no idea really why I was doing that. And so that's what I did. I just said, I want to make a change. And from there it snowballed. From there my life has had so many opportunities. I have gotten so much more confident, because this is the thing. This is what I want you to note down, that it doesn't really matter what you do. So it doesn't matter whether you want to go and climb a mountain, or it doesn't matter if you go and volunteer somewhere, or you what the key thing is that you are taking yourself out of your comfort zone and you're really stretching yourself, and that's when you learn about you, and that's when you learn what you're going to love. So that is the easiest way to do it. Other option is to go through aspects of your life. So work through the workbook as we've got, and you'll look at things in your life, and you'll look at something like relationships, and it might be that you have a relationship in your life that's holding you back. You might have had an argument with a really great friend or a sister or someone at work, and there's something that happened in that argument, and that's really upsetting you and pulling you down, and that's something that you kind of think, hang on a second, I want to rectify that area of my life. I'm not really happy in that area of my life. And you can look at each little area piece by piece and change it, and that will help you to become happier, help you to live a life that you love. But it might take a long time till you find that bit, that piece that's missing. Whereas when you put yourself in an environment that really stretches you, for example, I cycled from London to Paris, and oh my god, it was a disaster. I didn't know what I was doing, and this is the part of it, this is what I want you to say, is that you'll probably think, okay, great, Lucy, so I'm going to go off and do a challenge. How the hell am I going to know how to do this challenge? Like, okay, I'm going to take the short route, I'm going to take the easiest route and do a challenge. Okay, what do? I can't cycle in Kilimanjaro, it's too expensive. Okay, so I say, go road cycling, cycle London to Paris. That's a huge challenge. And you're like, I don't know how to cycle, I can't road cycle. Neither can I. I literally, before I went, I had done minimal cycling. Now I have to say that I was in a training, I was training for the London Marathon at the time, and I was training for an Arctic expedition as well. So I had a high level of fitness, but I couldn't ride a road bike. I first went on a road bike 5 weeks before we went on this trip, and probably fell into a bush. I couldn't even remember, my boyfriend had told me how to stop, and I couldn't even remember where, like I got on and just the brakes were in a totally different place, and I couldn't even remember, and I just had to crash, like I went off the drive and it was on a camber, and I just was like, oh my god. And I had to like throw myself into this bush because the bike was too big, so I couldn't actually put my feet down. I was rubbish. I didn't know anything about cycling. I didn't know what to wear. I couldn't take my hands off the handlebars to drink. So I rocked up at this event, and I had got a bit better. I'd been on it like 3 times. I'd hardly really done any training, and this is terrible. This is not how you prepare for an expedition. But the point I'm trying to make is you don't have to be good at something to give it a go. And I went on this trip, and oh boy was I stretched. I learned a lot about planning and preparation, and how you need to find out what you don't know, and we'd have been better going on a long trip. We'd have been better going on a day trip ourselves to work out what we didn't know, but we just didn't have the time, and that is life. This is the point, is that you don't have to dot all the I's and cross all the T's to get yourself there. You just need to jump in and do it. And this leads me to something that's really, really key, and that's that often with things like this, when you're looking at a life and you'll look at something like, you'll look at career, you'll look at your health and fitness, you'll look at relationships you have with people, you'll look at money. But what you also need to do is look at you. Because often the answer is lying right here within. We've talked about fear before, and it might be you. It might be you that's holding yourself back. So what is it in your life that's stopping you from being happy? Is it you? And you've got to really take a long, hard look at yourself and say, hang on a second, it's me, it's my outlook. Every time somebody suggests it, Lucy's sitting here, like on the phone, zooming, looking for green areas, and I thought, that's a really big green area. Zoomed in, looked for the place name, then I googled walks in that area. I think I even googled hilly walks, because obviously I was looking for something that was had a lot of terrain. And I went off there. I just packed up a backpack, just me and the dog, and I got some water, and we just went off for the whole day. And that was how I was doing it. That was how I was doing my training, because you don't always have all the answers. You don't always know what you're doing. Don't get me wrong, you learn as you go, and there are proper training methods, and this is another thing as well. Simon Sinek says, he does a really great analogy. If you haven't seen him, Google all of his stuff. Simon, and it's Sinek. He's a fantastic motivational speaker, and he says, if I ask you I tell someone to walk across the room and I say, you have got to walk in a straight line from this side of the room to the door. Off you go. And the person walks straight across the room to the door. He then walks into the middle of the room and puts a chair in the middle of the room, so blocking the route. And he says, you have to walk in a straight line from here to the door. Off you go. And the person can't do it, and they say, well, I can't do it because I can't get in a straight line. But he never said you can only go in one straight line. He just said go in a straight line. So what he actually goes on to say is that sometimes you need the route map. Sometimes you do need the way through. And I accept that. So what I'm saying is jump and get started. And part of that won't necessarily be, right, I'm going to go and climb a mountain tomorrow. Right, okay, Lucy said I should just go for it. I don't need to know what I'm doing. I can just go for it. That's not exactly what I'm saying. I'm saying jump in and commit to a big dream or goal. And then once you've committed, once you've said, this is the thing I'm going to do, you're not going to block yourself. You're not going to put any barriers in place. And when there are barriers, if there is a chair in the road or a chair in the room, you find the way around it. So you say, okay, so I'm going to climb Kilimanjaro, let's keep that as the example. Or let's take running. Let's say I want to do something. I want to challenge myself and I'm going to run. I want to run a marathon. I'm going to do it. Okay, I'm gonna choose a marathon that's next May, which is the Edinburgh Marathon. Edinburgh Marathon is in May, so I see it. I'm gonna sign up for next May. That is my challenge. I've got a year. What do I do now? You get a plan. You get a marathon training plan. That's what you would do, and that's what Simon Sinek says is sometimes you do need a route map, and the route map for that is a training program. And it's not as hard as we think. Sometimes we say, oh, I can't do that. Why can't you? Thousands of people all the time follow marathon training plans. There's nothing special about it. You can do it. Let's not overcomplicate things too much. So to recap, sometimes the problem in your life might be you. Take a pause and see if the thing that's holding you back, is it you? Is the reason you're not living a life you love because of something that you're doing, something you're preventing yourself from? The best place to start with trying to find out something that you're gonna love is to find your why. What lights you up and what sets your soul on fire? What is it? What is that big dream? Do you want to change career? Do you? Do you really? Because is the life you love something that you can do outside your 9 to 5, and actually the 9 to 5 is fine and it's safe and it actually gives you a really stable environment to go off and do all the other things you want to do? Or do you spend half of your life there and you think, I just don't enjoy my job? And that's really important. What you do with the work has one of the biggest impacts, and that's where a lot of people really struggle, because they kind of like their job but they don't love it, and they think liking their job is enough, and it's just not. Because it has to give you enough money, but it also has to give you the freedom, and you have to enjoy it, because otherwise you're there for so many hours, and when you think, oh my god, this sucks, and you think, oh my god, I've got another 30 years of this, 20, 30 years of a job, that makes it even worse. So you've got to make sure, if you're going to start anywhere, I would look at my career. What job do I do? How do I spend a lot of my time if you're not working? What are you doing mostly with your time? So once you've found your why and you know what you want to do and you know where you want to go, you've got to find a route map. And I can't tell you all the different route maps. I'm so happy to help and suggest some ideas. But if your goal is say a marathon or a fitness type of challenge, find someone that's already done it. Google it. There'll be a Facebook group about it for sure, or there'll be people that want to do it. So for example, what about climbing the Munros in Scotland? How amazing would that be to tackle kind of all of the Munros? That's all the highest mountains in Scotland, or even all the mountains in the Lake District. All the Wainwrights, I've just completely forgotten his name then, the Wainwrights. So Wainwright named all of the mountain ranges, and there's amazing books you can get and you follow those. They're incredible too. If you want to have an adventure goal, why not set yourself a challenge like something like that? You don't have to set yourself like a speed challenge. Guys, most of the time, okay, we get a medal when we run a marathon, but most of the time in life there is no medal. So just set it for yourself. I think that's what's really important, is what makes you happy and what makes you tick. What is it that you love? And once you've worked that out, that's where to start. Then you can find your route map and you can go from there. I really hope that this has helped, and I really hope that you're going to be able to create a life that you love and pull in all of the components and really make some positive changes. Okay, can't wait to catch up with you next week. Speak soon.